Welcome to Healthy Aging with Gina. And this is our last episode of the season. Gracious me, where have the weeks gone? Now, I'm delighted for this last show today that I have got a guest who is both a friend, she's a student, and she is the perfect person for me to talk on today's topic, which is going to be multi-generational living. So, Jenny, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you for inviting me.
So Jenny's going to join me for our 10 minutes of Ageless Grace. Now, we do, as you know, 10 minutes of exercise at the beginning of each show, because this show is for those of us who want to stay younger for longer. And all these movements are just so good for us. We're going to do 4 of them today. We're going to work on our spine. We're going to work on our brain and our creativity with our different instruments, backing orchestra. We're going to work on our legs, and we're going to work on some stretching. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's just hit it. And we're just going to work on that spine to begin with. Let's open these legs a little. We're going to take the hands out in front of us, and we're just going to do a slow roll. Now, you should always let the head follow the hands. Why? Because it's easier on the head and on the neck. It's slow. It's controlled. We're going to stop at the top. Now we're going to reverse direction, back the other way. Again, as I said, I hope you can see that the head is looking where the hands are going. I hope you're doing that at home as well. You're sitting in a nice firm chair. Don't want you sliding across the floor, and that you are out of your sofa. Very good. We're going to come back to center now. I want one foot slightly further forward. We're going to press out. Hands are going out. Elbows are coming back. Stretch it. All of these movements are for these 26 bones in the spine. Last one on this leg. I'm going to put the other leg forward. We press over that one and back. Lovely. Jenny's been coming to my classes long enough. She knows exactly what to do. Mind you, you guys have been with me for quite a few episodes now, so you should know what to do as well. And I hope you're feeling the benefits of it. Last one. Okay, bring the legs back. I want the hands here. We're just going to tap. One side, center. Other side. So we're just stretching the body, different directions. Great coordination over there, Jen. I'm proud of you. Okay, I want the hands out now, and we're just going to let them swing behind us and swing the other way. Fantastic. All right, now our next one is all about the backing orchestra. Come on, Jenny, let's grab our guitars. And we're just going to strum. Other way, we're strumming this way. Tap one foot at the same time. Now, if this hand is out, I want the opposite foot. Good. Got to work right, left body. Remember, it doesn't matter if you've played an instrument before. This works on your imagination and your brain as well. Okay, we're ambidextrous. We can do it both sides, can't we, Jenny? Yeah. I've still got the same foot. Jenny's changed feet. I didn't. Did anybody notice? Hope not. Okay, let's do some bongos, Jenny. Flat hands. Oh yeah, I think we'd get a job with this orchestra. And quicker. All right. Oh, we're going in and round. We're going round and round. See, it's your imagination. You can move your instruments any way you like. Okay, what about a little piano? Down one end. See, it's much more fun doing this with somebody else. Okay, cross your hands over, Jenny. We've got one hand still in the middle. One hand's crossing over. Okay, change hands. Keep one hand still in the middle. The other one's going up and over. So it's just a few minutes of these little exercises. What else? What about a cello? I watched a bit of cello the other day. You've got the bow and the strings. We're ambidextrous cello players, so quickly change hands with the bow. Oh, we've run out of music. How did that happen? Very good. Now, the next one's all going to be lower body, so it's going to be legs and hips. Now, we're going to start with just a sweep of the leg out to the side and sweep it back to the center. Now, I've got a feeling this song has different tempos. So it starts slow. So we're just sweeping this hip out. Keep your foot flat on the floor. And in and out. In. All right, we're going to change sides now. In. Take the other foot, sweep it out. Take the hand as well. Lovely. Nice. Very good. Last one. I just want you to tap your heels now. We're keeping the feet flat on the floor. We're just tapping the heels. I want you to tap one hand on one knee and the other foot's going to step out. So it's a tap and a step. Good. Take one hand out. There's a lot going on. We've got a hand tapping. We've got a foot tapping. We've got a foot stepping. Multitasking. Just do some of it. Whichever bits you can do is great. Okay, come back to center. Just tap both heels. Hand tapping on the knee. Step that one out. In and out. I wonder if my songs are so short today. As I said, this one's got different tempos, different speeds. Good. Now we're going to do a slow, come back to center. We're just going to step it forward, bring it back. Out, back. Lovely. How about a few quick ones? In, out, in. Feeling it in your hip? Good. Last time this side. Heels tapping again. And we're going to take the foot out and tap it. Out. Good. Both Jenny and I have decided we've got quite short legs, so we have to sit at the end of our chairs. Otherwise, my little legs wouldn't reach. Good. All right, we're going to go to the other foot and just do a little toe tap. So tap it out, back. And on the other side, I always like to be balanced. Very good. Now this last one, we're going to finish with some nice, slow stretches, which is very, very important that you get to do that. So we're going to start with a nice stretch to the side. So you can open your legs a little bit. Feet nice and flat. We're going to put one hand onto the waist. We're going to bring one arm up in the air and we're going to take it to the side and we're just going to hold the stretch. We're going to come up to seating again. This hand can come right down. This one comes onto the waist now. Other arm up and over. Very good. Now, we're going to take both arms up together. We're going to look up. Imagine you're drawing a big Y with your arms that are out. Now, we're going to bring these hands together, fingers together. Interlock the fingers if it's comfortable for you to do so. Turn them inside out. Stretch them up. Hold that stretch now. And we're bringing the stretch down in front of our face, stretching out of our arms. Now, we're going to hold this position, Jenny, and we're just going to take the arms slightly to one side. Keep the face facing center at this minute. So it's just the arms are stretching. I want you to feel the stretch down your arm. Come back to center. Stretch them the other way. Just keep looking forward. You're getting a stretch from this bit of your arm. Very good. Now we're going to let the hands go. Let the arms down behind us. Stretch them up. Oh, I always call these angel wings. How about taking a little breath and see if we can make the angel wings go a little higher, Jenny? Exhale. Now we're going to bring one arm forward and take one back. Our superwoman pose. Hold that. Very good. Change sides. Nice. Very good. We're going to drop our arms down by our side. We're just going to roll these shoulders. Stretch these shoulders out slowly. Roll them back. Very good. I hope you really feel limber after these 10 minutes. You can just see what a difference 10 minutes a day can make. Okay, now we're going to take the shoulders forward. Big shoulder shrug forward. Very good. Last one. And let's just swing these arms back. And we're going to bring them up and hold them and look. Drop them, head down, arms back. Up again. Head down. Last one up. Last one back. Very good. Arms down by our side. Now we're going to stretch out this leg. Take one leg. Hold it up underneath. Oh, pull it towards you. We're going to rotate that ankle. Important for your circulation. Keep these ankles nice and loose. Change direction. Good. Now we're going to just take the heel, cross it over at the ankle. Just let the legs drop open. So we're stretching it out from the inner hip. Good. Nice. And we're going to stretch it on the other leg. Oh, lift that one up. Round we go. I can tell you've done this before, Jenny. Round we are. Lovely. Just let the legs down and we'll cross. Fantastic. And we're going to finish with a nice last deep breath. So I like to have the hands down by our side. We're going to take them up with a big inhale. And we're going to take them down with a big exhale. So thank you for sharing the first part of our program. Those 4 little exercises with Jenny with me. And we're going to be right back with you just in a minute. And here we are again, Healthy Aging with Gina and my delightful guest, Jenny Wiersma, who did the exercises so beautifully with me, is here today to talk about multi-generational living. So I want to say, Jenny, once again, thank you for coming and spending some time with me.
My pleasure, really.
Now, we met because you came to one of my Ages Grace classes.
Right. Yes.
And how did you find out about it? I'm trying to remember, how did you first hear?
How did I find out about it? I think I got a pamphlet in my letterbox.
Huh.
And that was when somebody was giving an exhibition of that in Noordhoek on a field somewhere.
How interesting.
And that was really, really nice.
Okay.
Yes, so I found out where this, I think it was Pam and her sister.
Right.
That were going and said, why don't you come? And so I said, yes, I will meet you there.
That's right. That's right. So it was Pam and Val we have to thank. So we can say thank you for them for that little presentation. Well, I'm very, very glad they brought you, and you've been a very, very faithful member of the class. Now, what do you enjoy about doing Ages Grace? Because you certainly do the movements all beautifully, which is so nice to see.
Well, I think what really pushes me to come on a Thursday is the exercise, the music that we're kind of dancing to, really. And it's all everybody's own choice. With Gina, you look at every time. You've got somebody's choice playing, and it's really socializing as well with everybody that you know, but we're all very busy doing the exercises and they are fun and you really feel like you've worked hard.
That's great.
So
because how long is our class that you do with me?
45 minutes.
45 minutes, and we only did 10 today.
Right.
So my viewers get it very, very easy. We don't put them through
We really feel like we've worked.
We do feel like we've worked. We do feel like, and I'm inspired because, if I may ask your age, Jenny?
76.
76. Well, listen, you are inspiring. I mean, and it was talking to you, and at the beginning of the year, and you were talking about moving house that has led to what's going to be our topic today.
Okay.
So, tell us about your current living situation.
Currently, I'm living in what we call the captain's cabin,
right?
Which used to be a garage, belonging to my late friend.
So this was converted.
It was converted.
Okay.
And I used to let it out for rentals. And I had a little cottage on the other side of my house, which was a granny flat.
Right.
And I used to let that out as well. And it was very nice, meeting lots of different people. Never had too much problem with tenants. And really sat thinking about this one day and thinking that I don't think I would always want to have tenants. It would be nice to have my family.
So you were living in the
have-
main house,
I was living in the main
and
house.
you'd converted the little granny flat first, was that right?
Yes. First, I had an American girl come and stay there,
Right.
and which surprised John because he was away when I had done all those
So you lived in the main house with your
alterations.
partner for a long time?
21 years. And yes, well, it was just so easy having that tenant. And after John passed on, I decided, well, I'm going to let that space and fix it up. And
Had
make
you
it
and
a
John
nice-
done the cottage, the captain's garage renovation before he passed or not?
No, only after.
That
about
happened
a
afterwards.
year after.
Okay.
That's right. And very successfully let that, met some wonderful people, and did that for about 10 years
Now you live.
in Komiki.
Okay, so describe that, because
By
not
the
everybody
sea.
our viewers come from all different places. So describe us what kind of community and where Komiki is.
Komiki is the closest to, as a village, it's towards Scarborough on the way to Cape Point. We have just about all of Komiki has a coastline all the way around. Long Beach, all the way around to the other side, and to the lighthouse. It's coastline.
Famous lighthouse.
Famous lighthouse.
What's it
Slumcourt.
called? Slumcourt.
Slumcourt.
That's right.
Lighthouse. Yes, it's the only steel lighthouse in
Steel.
the country. Yes.
Okay.
All the bits and pieces came from the UK.
Huh. Very good.
Yeah.
So they've obviously lasted.
They
Hopefully.
have. They get painted regularly, and it's the only thing is that lighthouse doesn't have a foghorn, so it would be nice if it did, because we get a lot of mist there in the winter months
Right.
and sometimes in the summer.
Now you've been in Komiki for many
Since
years.
1966,
So that's
about 35 years,
right.
I think. Yes,
Longer.
35 years.
66.
No, it's much
Is that
longer.
it? Yeah, you were saying it's 50 years. I
66,
thought you said
it's
you'd been there.
50 odd years, yes.
Right.
I can't
And
do
why
the
did you
sum.
choose what must have been an incredibly small, almost kind of fishing village at that time?
At that time, in our road, which was Ixia Avenue in Komiki on the Long Beach side,
Right.
there were only 4 houses in that road,
Okay.
3 of which were beach houses, and then ours was permanent residence. And my
Okay.
closest neighbour to me was Oma Punt,
Right.
and she lived around the corner in Aram Avenue,
Right.
the one and only house in that road. But we adopted her. She was granny to my first 2 daughters.
Nice to have to live in an area where you
Yes.
kind of know your neighbours. Now you had your children. How many children did you have?
I have 4 girls. 2 of them live in Komiki,
Right. They were born in Komiki,
born and bred in Komiki.
and they still choose to live in Komiki.
Yes, well,
This
they
means
were
it sounds
actually
like a fairly special place.
They were actually born at False Bay Hospital.
Right, but
Yeah, but they have lived
from
in
their
Komiki
birth.
all their lives. Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. And 2 of them still continue to actually live
Yes.
within the
Yes.
within the village.
That's right. Everything available in Komiki. You don't have to go anywhere. When I first moved to Komiki, it was very sparsely populated. Down Lighthouse Road was the most, and I used to catch the bus with the children to do shopping, and my husband would pick me up after shopping.
Are there still buses that run
There
from
were
Komiki to?
buses.
There were,
Yes,
but
they do now.
Do they?
Still, I think there's about 3 or 4 buses
Okay.
that run from Komiki at strategic times.
very good.
Yeah.
But I loved this concept that you have a property that has 3 parts to it, and that you made the decision that the house that you were in, did you feel it had got too big, or were you
Well,
thinking you were ready to downsize?
I thought that I would like to eventually downsize, and I was even thinking about moving into the granny flat.
Right.
But it probably would be a little too small, because I wouldn't be able to entertain my friends
Right.
and my family in that little space. So I turned my sights to what we call the captain's cabin,
Which is totally charming, having been entertained in there quite recently.
Yes, it's plenty spacious enough. And I thought, it would be actually nice if I could have my family one by one come and live on their own, independently, and share the property.
Right.
So that's how it started in my mind. And then things just fell into place.
Sometimes it's when you kind of know things are meant to be, when they kind of fall into place so easily.
First tenant wanted to move closer to his family,
Right.
Who were living in Rondebosch, and so he moved to Lakeside. The next tenant in the captain's cabin decided he needed to go to somewhere bigger,
Right.
because his dad was going to come and help him in his electrical business.
Right.
And so they moved out at the end of December.
So suddenly circumstances are bringing you to a place.
So I approached my youngest daughter and said, what do you think? She would like to have moved to Kommetjie as well, because my granddaughter, most of her friends were in Kommetjie.
Right.
And they would have to drive from Emhofsgift to there every day. Even if she just needed a loaf of bread,
Right.
she could either go, she had to use her car.
So she wasn't living in an area that was so easily accessible to general living.
I said, well, how about it? Then she decided that she'd like to move to Kommetjie.
Great.
And she sold her house. So I said, well, instead of buying another straight away,
Right.
what did you think about renting for a while at my house? A low rental.
Yeah.
Save your money, and the rental will take the place of the tenants' rents that they were paying me, so that would still be my income.
Well, that sounds an ingenious solution,
Yes.
to be able to still live on a property that you've owned and lived. You've been in that house for
35 years.
35 years in this one.
In this particular house, I've been in there for 35 years.
And you'd rather stay in your own
Yes,
place and not have the option of going to a retirement home?
I would really prefer not to do that at
Right.
all, and leave my garden. At least this way, I can still fiddle in my garden when I like.
Right.
And everything is close by. I don't have to use my car. It's everything is available. Churches, library, shopping, whatever you need.
All
it's
you can
right
do by
there.
foot. And as we
Yes.
said, you've got to keep moving to
You
keep
must
moving.
keep moving. So I'm close to the beach, can walk down to the beach easily. Must get back on my bicycle. Would be nice to ride around. My granddaughter's got a bicycle too, so we could ride together.
So you've got your granddaughter over in the little cottage, your daughter and her partner in the main house, and you're in the captain's cabin.
Yes.
And it's a wonderful scenario, Jenny, and I think it's inspiring example for people to see that you can keep families
There is
together.
an alternative to going to, if you are an elderly person and you got the option to move into smaller, on your property, into a smaller abode. It's very.
It's a smart move.
It's felt right. It feels good. I have place where I could still build on.
Right.
Go upstairs on the top of the house or on the top of the cabin.
Right.
And have space for another two family members.
Well, there we are. You're going to be taking over the road
I'd
at this rate, I think.
I'd have to win the lottery there
Right.
first. Win the lottery, and then I could
Well, I think you're...
build on some more and have them all come and live on the same property.
Well, at least most of them are fairly close, which is great. I know
Yes.
you've got one in Joburg and at least 3 are in the Cape Town area.
Yes, one in Rondebosch, 2 in Kommetjie.
Well, I think what your solution is proof for an awful lot of people that sometimes we need to listen to what our parents want. And I salute you, because it's your life, it's your decision on how you want to be able to live and stay where you are. So I hope that it's inspired some other viewers to think about making their plans
Yes.
on where they need to be for the future.
If they have got the space
Make a plan.
Use it and make a plan.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Jenny, thank you so much for sharing what's happened with you. I just think it's an inspiring story. As I said, it lifted me up to think that that's a great way that you could have family around. So well done you for being smart, making smart use of your property. Thank you for being with us
Thank you
today.
for inviting me.
My pleasure. Well, there we are. That's the wrap up for this first season of Healthy Aging with Gina. I hope that you have enjoyed your exercises when we've done our 10 minutes. The fact that they're on YouTube, that you can go back and do them, choose different episodes, different 10 minutes, as many days of a week as you would like. And thank you for being with me and with Jenny today, and just hearing that, make that plan for how you want to be able to live your later days, where you want to live your later days, and who you want to live them with. Bye-bye.